California. This is the time that we come together on Sundays at 10 for a little meditation. We'll have some beautiful music from our pianist Kevin Esquivel, and then you'll be able to go into the stillness and be wherever you are meditating. And I would invite you to take this thought with you as you go into the stillness. Heaven is the state of awareness of our true nature. We experience it to the degree we become conscious of it. And so now I just invite you to listen to the beautiful music and be in the stillness with Spirit until we return. I'll be back. Am I on? We are never sure if my microphone is on or not, so you may hear me say sometimes, am I on? I want you to know that I am always on with the spirit that moves in through and as me that is me. So, whether the mic's on or not, I'm on. So welcome again to the Center for Spiritual Living here in Visalia, California. It's my pleasure as the senior minister to welcome you to our Sunday service, and it's going to be lovely. And it's one of our 2 holiday services this week and next, so you're not going to want to miss anything. I invite you to just settle back, get something, a beverage, tea, coffee, hot chocolate, whatever works for where you are, something to snack on. And then wherever you are, out in virtual reality and here in the sanctuary, I just want to say this is our first coffee service day in the center, and we have coffee and hot chocolate for the first time in over a year and many months. So it is here, and you get yours out there, and we will be back. And while you're doing that, watch the slides that we have, because they're pretty much fun for you today. So we'll be right back.
I'm going to put it in my...
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Oh, 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 the mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you. Guess someone's from me. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And in case you didn't hear, oh, by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. The mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you. Kiss him once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And in case you didn't hear, oh, by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year.
All right. Well, that's a wonderful start. We were trying to get two of our ballroom dancers down here to do a little turn around the floor, but it just didn't happen to happen. And that's okay because they need to save their energy for this entire service. We want them to be on point, awake, alert, and not exhausted from dancing around the sanctuary. Well, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living again here in Visalia, California. It's my pleasure as the senior minister here, Reverend Nan Bankston, to be able to welcome you to our Sunday service. This is one of our holiday services this week, and we're going to have another one next week. So you can expect some Christmas music, some holiday music, and to be able to just have a wonderful time. So is anybody here for the first time? I don't see anybody that I don't know, so I'm saying no. If you are at home and you are with us for the first time, I just want you to know that I do not always wear reindeer on my head. So it just happens to be in the spirit of the holiday season, which encompasses many things besides reindeer. And we did have a special service last week with the lighting of the menorah by two of our folks who graced us with that sacred activity. This week we've got a little something else going on, and so I just invite you to sit back and relax and enjoy our service. And now we'll go to our announcements. So on Christmas Eve, December 24th at 6:30 p.m., we will be having our candlelight service on Zoom. Now, I want you to know that the Zoom service is not going to be recorded. It's not going to be here in the sanctuary. It's only going to be on Zoom. So where is Chris? Chris, would you, for everybody here today and next week, we're going to be handing out little tea lights so that you will have them at home for your being able to join us with Zoom. And when we get together on Zoom at 6:30 on Christmas Eve, we will do our little candle lighting all together, just like if we were here. So it will be special. It's just a short service. I think you'll enjoy it. We'll have music, a little message, and a whole lot of love. And now we have, for your holiday shopping, we've got now in the bookstore, we have wonderful, wonderful gratitude books that are on sale now, right now. A very dear friend of mine, Deborah Perdue, who's a practitioner at Grants Pass, which was my old center before you blessed me with my ability to serve you here, she has just published a new Daily Gratitude Reflections. It's a beautiful book. It has amazing graphic illustrations that are full color on every page, and they're so beautiful. It's a wonderful, wonderful holiday gift for anybody you know and love, and a wonderful way to begin to do gratitude even for you. So I highly encourage you to take a look at that. What else have we got, Donna? Ooh, this is important because I've heard all about it. So it's really important because nobody got their Science of Mind magazines in the mail. If you are a regular subscriber for Science of Mind magazine and it comes to you through the mail, there was a delay. It didn't get sent out until November 12th, mid-November. And what Science of Mind is doing for everyone who has a subscription is that free of charge, they are extending your subscription 2 months, and you will continue to get it past your ordinary expiration date or renewal of your subscription. So I believe that almost everybody has theirs now. Mine just came in the mail yesterday, so I would expect that yours will be coming soon at a theater near you or in your mailbox, whichever happens first, depending on how the mail's going. Now, next week, I will be here. I will get to receive. This is so exciting. You know, Reverend Linda Finley is going to be here with us. She's going to be doing our guest speaking talk. She'll be presenting the message. She was a practitioner here, started out as a practitioner, went on to become a minister, and now she is in Eugene at the center up there, serving up there, and she comes home for Christmas every year to visit her family, and we are so honored and pleased to have her here as our guest speaker next week. So you're not going to want to miss that, whether you come into the sanctuary to see her and greet her since you've known her for a long time, or if you're on virtual, check it out. It's always fun to see somebody else talking about these wonderful spiritual principles and practices that we have. So, what else have we got, Donna? Oh, yes, indeed. So, this is very confusing to some folks. The World Healing Peace Meditation is at 3:45 a.m. Pacific Time on December 31st. It is not on New Year's Day, it's on New Year's Eve day. And we have a Zoom link that will be posted on our website. I'll be up crawling around at that time. We can all be sitting in our PJs and just be meditating together about world peace. This was something that was started many, many years ago by John Randolph Price and his wife under the auspices of their foundation. And it is I think it's been going on for 30 years now, maybe more. And I've been participating in this for, I guess, since 2002. So I've been getting up early on New Year's Eve day and doing this. So it will be on Zoom. You don't have to get out in the cold and trek down here. I invite all of you to join me at least on Zoom. We'll see who the early birds are. No, well, it's New Year's Eve day. Now, if you start early and you're starting on New Year's Eve, well, then that works. No, you don't have to be sober. The question from one of our regular folks is, do you have to, for those of you who are out in virtual world, do you have to be sober for this? Now, while it is on the day before, early in the morning of New Year's Eve, as he said, he usually parties through the entire week. So if you're sober, it's fine. If you're not, come on down. We'll have the Zoom on. Donna, this one's for you.
So we haven't talked about the peace trains for a while, but the last ones went up. Sharon, did you help Ann put them up? Yes, so Sharon and Ann put them up, and Bruce put them up. They're in the window. They're sort of hidden. I think we ought to move them because they're behind a picture. But they're the last. We now have 1,001 cranes up around. So I want you to make sure you go look, because I'm giving you a teaser here. We're going to end at the meditation, and they might be up for a little bit longer, but that's our official end of our peace project. But you'll see these in the window, and now there are some words on it. So I want you to see if you can figure out what the meaning is of the colors that they did this way. We'll talk about it next week. And our Giving Tree project is going really well. You see our 3 bikes in the back? Very exciting that we have such generous people getting the 3 bikes for the 3 kids. We have only a couple tags. I don't even see any now. Did they take them all?
Yep. Yep, they're all gone.
They're all gone?
Yep.
Oh, there is one left. Okay. One suggestion, this is a family, a single mother with 3 kids, and they're living in some kind of little trailer at their uncle's house, and they don't have much. All the kids wanted bikes. They're going to get their bikes for Christmas. But the mom wants appliances and things for her little trailer. I don't think she has very much. So an idea was, if you haven't given yet and want to give, maybe just give a little bit of money and we'll get a gift card and she can take it to Target or whatever and she can buy what she needs. So there's a little basket back there. You can put your donations in there for that little thing. It'd be wonderful. And we need everything here by next Sunday because Monday, we're taking it over to the Salvation Army, and they'll be wrapping everything and getting them out to the family. So, yeah, don't bring anything wrapped, but you can look at the goodies in the back there. Reverend Nan brought a very loud talking dog that's, I'm not sure she knew it was doing that, and she's not sure the mother's going to love this, but the kids wanted plush dogs, so they're going to get them. Yeah. And one more, the fundraising committee, fundraising for funds, is meeting today after the Kaching meeting, and we're going to start planning our next concert, which is in February. So anyone who wants to help us, we would love to have you join us, and it won't be a lot of work if we get a few more people involved. It's so much fun to get involved with activities here, so I hope you'll do it. And now I'm going to turn it over to Bonnie.
Oh, okay. Good morning. Everybody can hear me? All right. Today, the 12th of December, is a very celebrated day in Mexico. It is called El Día de la Virgen de Guadalupe. And the Virgin of Guadalupe is the patron saint of Mexico. I will give you the edited version of how this came to be. According to accounts, on December 9th, in the year 1531, an indigenous man named Juan Diego was walking in an area known as Tepeyac Hill, now a suburb of Mexico City, when a young woman suddenly appeared and informed Juan Diego that she was the Virgin Mary, quote, mother of the very true deity, unquote. The woman had dark skin and spoke to Juan in Nahuatl, the language of the Aztecs. She asked that he go to the bishop and say that she wanted a shrine to be built on the spot where she stood. Juan Diego did as he was told, but not surprisingly, the bishop did not believe his account. And he told Juan that the Virgin, if she existed, must give a sign and prove herself. Juan Diego returned to Tepeyac Hill, where the Virgin reappeared and told him that he should go to the summit of the hill and pick the Castilian roses that did not grow. They were not native to Mexico, but they would be growing on that hill in spite of the fact it was December and far too cold for roses to be growing, and that he should bring them back to her. Once again, Juan did as instructed. When he returned to the Virgin, she arranged the roses in his tilma, or cloak, so he could carry them back to the bishop. Juan Diego had some family matters to take care of, but he finally got back to the bishop on December 12th. When he opened his cloak and let the roses fall to the floor at the bishop's feet, both of them were amazed to see imprinted on the inside of Juan's cloak the image of the Virgin encircled in rays of light. When all was said and done, there had been a total of 5 apparitions and 1 healing during this entire process. Though she is venerated throughout all of Latin America, the Virgin of, or La Virgen de Guadalupe, is honored and loved like no other by the Mexican people, who call themselves Guadalupanos, the people of Guadalupe, or the followers of Guadalupe. And to close, I just want to say the shrine or basilica of Guadalupe, which is on that spot in Tepeyac Hill, is the most visited Catholic shrine in the world and the third most visited sacred site in the world. Thank you.
Now we're going to have a little change of pace. We're going to, I'm going to read the spiritual principle, which is up there now. Heaven is the state of awareness of our true nature. We experience it to the degree we become conscious of it. Now I'm going to do a positive prayer, so I want us all to settle down in our seats and take a deep breath, be calm, be aware of where you are. I know that within each one of us there is a tiny spark of the divine. This tiny spark is all that is everything. I know that each of us is part of that everything. Altogether, we are the wholeness of spirit. Individually, we are the wholeness of spirit. I know that this divine spark guides each one of us through each day, through all the things that happen to us, all the things that we create, all the things that we create with spirit together, making our life the best life there is. And I know that in this busyness of this season, when we take time to recognize and know that that spark is always there, we don't have to understand it. We just have to know it is there with us at all times. So I rest in the joy of this mystery, knowing I don't have to work my mind around understanding any of this. I take it as a gift of spirit to me, to each one of us. And as we go through this season in gratefulness, I know that each one of us moves forward with joy, accepting the mysteries of life and the life that they have and the life that we look forward to. I am so grateful that I release these words to the law of mind, knowing that this joy follows us each day. And we say together, and so it is. And now it's time for some more music.
All right, this is one you guys know. We're going to jazz it out, have a little bit of fun with it. So join in, swing around a little bit if you like. Frosty the Snowman was a jolly, happy soul with a corncob pipe and a button nose, 2 eyes made out of coal. Frosty the Snowman is a fairy tale, they say. He was made of snow, but the children know how he came to life one day. There must have been some magic in that old silk hat they found. For when they placed it on his head, he began to dance around. Oh, Frosty the snowman was as alive as he could be, and the children say he could laugh and play just the same as you and me. Frosty the snowman knew the sun was hot that day, so he said, let's run and we'll have some fun. Now before I melt away, down to the village with a broomstick in his hand, running here and there all around the square, saying, catch me if you can. Led them down the streets of town, right to the traffic cop, and he only paused a moment when he heard them holler, stop! Frosty the snowman had to hurry on his way, but he waved goodbye, saying, don't you cry, I'll be back again someday. Thumpity thump thump, thumpity thump thump, look at Frosty go. Thumpity thump thump, thumpity thump thump, over the hills of snow.
There we go. Now we're here. Thank you so much to Deanna Saldana and Kevin and Joey, who's filling in for Joe on the drums. And I have a special announcement. Edward Hernandez is now our full-time bass player. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. As some of you may have missed during the past couple of months, that Fritz, who has been our bass player for a long time, had some procedures he had to have done and had a little bit of a lengthier recovery, and now has some more things to do. So he felt it was time for him to take a very, very extended leave of absence, and we are so blessed to have Edward with us now to fill in until such time, if such time, Fritz decides to come back. He has to have some shoulder surgery, and it takes quite a long time, and the last time he had one done, it was a long recovery, and he never quite was comfortable with it. So he's not sure how this will all turn out. So we just hold him high in our prayers, and we know that right where he is, God is, and that all is in divine right order for him. But in the meantime, I am very, very grateful to have a regular bass player, Mr. Edward Hernandez, who also, who also is a master ukulele player. And next week, yes, indeed, if you got to hear that the other day when he was here with Deanna, it was magnificent. And next week, Hope should be back, and I'm thinking we may even have the One Hope Choir here for a little pre-holiday performance. I'm not sure. It'd be something special for Reverend Linda Finley if it is. So, good morning, happy Sunday, and welcome to all of you here and everybody in our virtual service. You know, we're so blessed to have so many of you with us every week here in the sanctuary and also out there. It makes for such a wonderful energy of celebration as we come together to share music and meaningful spiritual principles and a whole lot of love. You know, I get to hug a lot of people here in the sanctuary, and I do miss sharing that out there with you in virtual land. So, for those of you who are dyed-in-the-wool huggers like myself, that my arms cannot reach through virtual reality, here I'm coming at you through the airwaves with a great big virtual hug. So get ready. There you go. That's for all of you. It's all for all of you here and for all of you out there. So, of course, next week, Reverend Linda will be here, and it'll be a real treat for me to get to be able to hear her speak for a change. And then we talked about the little Christmas Eve service, so we don't have to do that. Take your little tea light home and be ready. And now we're ready for a message. Can you believe that after all that? So our theme this month is the journey of becoming, and my talk title today is The Joy of Becoming. Now, we have been on a journey of spiritual magnificence all year, and we all know that while this adventure winds down, this is a time for us to be in the stillness and surrender, to pause and to contemplate to assimilate and to integrate our experiences before we start looking at what's next in 2022. Just as with this season of winter, where most things slow down and some hibernate and the days are shorter, we have the opportunity to really deepen into our understanding of the spiritual principles and practices we have acquired throughout this year. We've had some rain here in the valley, and it was wonderful. And while we always welcome more moisture, this also brought snow to the mountains. And I understand that there is a lot more snow coming this week for the mountains, and also some rain for us, which is a big blessing. Now, I don't know how many of you have lived with snow. I grew up with it. I lived outside Chicago in a little town by the Wisconsin border. And I recall that when the snow came in the winter, there was so much that when the roads were plowed, the street corners were so very high that you could not even see over the snow. And when you were going up to drive around the corners, you had to be really, really careful because many times you couldn't even see out around the corner. What I remember even more vividly, and think back now if you remember this, what I remember even more vividly was that dark, heavy color of the sky when it was pregnant with the snow that was just about to begin to fall. And there was a cold vapor in the air, and it stung your nose, and yet there was a peacefulness to snow. Now, blizzards with wind and drifting, that's a whole other ballgame, and they were pretty rough at times. But oh, that soft snow. Some of it was as big as quarters, and each flake was so perfect. Some actually, I saw some when I was a kid that were that big, at least as big as $50. Each one was perfect and unique, just like us. And that snow was so beautiful. You know, sometimes we'd bundle up and we'd go out in the new snow and we'd fall down on our backs and we'd be flapping our arms up and down like this, making snow angels. And all the while we'd be laughing while the snowflakes melted on our tongues. How many of you have had that experience? Yeah, we got some snow folks out here. So what I want to bring to our thoughts right now, though, is the sound of snow, the miracle of the hush. It made a sound without a sound, a stillness that was palpable and so very precious. Now that's the stillness of the mystery in which we exist until we move to our next adventure. It is the stillness that opens us to the joy of becoming our next greatest yet to be. Quiet time is for deepening. But, you know, we get fixated on what's to do next. And we're always looking, okay, what do I have to do next? All throughout the day even, whether it's now or later, what am I going to do next? I have this whole list, right? Well, this particular stillness and quiet time right now is a time for steeping in the experiences we have already enjoyed. Now that's an interesting word, and you know how I like words. Steep, as I have used it, is an adverb that means, literally, to soak something in some substance in order to imbue something into it or draw something out of it. If we are steeping in our spiritual learning experience, we are soaking in the substance of spirit and spiritual qualities to draw something out of them and then to imbue them or embody them in us. Now, many of you know that I do love my tea, and I am especially fond of chai tea. And the term steeping came to my mind as I was preparing a cup to accompany my putting this message together for everyone. That led to the idea of steeping in spiritual principle, steeping in the unformed substance of spirit from which all creation is formed. And then I was reminded of the Japanese tea ceremony. Now, there's a lot of countries that have tea ceremonies and rituals. Morocco has a ritual, Iran has a tea ceremony, England has high tea and other tea ceremonies. Russia and Brazil also do, to name a few. And the Japanese tradition is a sacred ceremony. Having a cup of tea doesn't mean firing up the Keurig and putting the pot in and pushing the blue button and making a cup of tea. That's what I usually do, by the way. The Japanese tea ceremony, shado or chado, literally means the way of tea. This tradition is steeped in history. It is a ceremonial way of preparing and drinking green tea, typically in a traditional tea room with a special floor, a tatami floor. Now, that floor architecture requires anyone who's entering into the tea room to be in a humble mode, to bend over, to enter, to be in a humble mode of receptivity to the process. Beyond just serving and receiving tea, one of the main purposes of the tea ceremony is for the guests to enjoy the hospitality of the host in an atmosphere distinct from the fast pace of everyday life. So they put aside everyday life and they move into this ritual. Tea was first introduced to Japan in the 8th century from China, and it was drunk as a medicinal beverage, mainly amongst priests and the upper class folks. It wasn't until the Muromachi period in 1333 to 1573 that the beverage gained true popularity among people of all social classes. Among the affluent tea drinkers, parties became popular in which the participants would show off their exquisite tea bowls and display their knowledge of fine tea leaves and the wonderful ones that they had procured for this particular event. Now, around the same time, a more refined version of tea parties developed with Zen-inspired simplicity and a greater emphasis on spirituality. It is from these gatherings that the tea ceremony has its origins, with the father of the modern way of tea being Senso Rikyo, who advocated an austere, rustic simplicity in the ceremony. Most of today's schools of tea ceremony developed from his teaching. The three main purposes of the tea ceremony are to strengthen the bond between the host and their guest, to create a relaxed atmosphere, a peaceful environment, and to create enjoyment for the participant. Now, today, the tea ceremony is more often practiced as a hobby rather than a spiritual practice. However, there are many, many cultural centers throughout Japan that host formal and authentic tea ceremonies. As I reviewed the origins of the tea ceremony, the spiritual aspect of it as a ritual, it began to appeal to me, and I began to see how this idea of steeping applies to our spiritual practices and personal development. So consider this. The first purpose of the tea ceremony is to strengthen the bond between the host and their guest. One of the main purposes of the tea ceremony is for the guest to enjoy the hospitality of the host in an atmosphere distinct from the fast pace of everyday life. In our metaphysical application, as we enter into our spiritual practice, we do so with the intention of communing with the spirit or the divine essence, the host, that exists within each of us. Our meditation, contemplation, and prayer are all designed to strengthen our bond with the infinite. When we set dedicated time for that date with Spirit, we create a sacred space, a time for this special practice, a relaxed environment for the special things we might do. It's an atmosphere distinct from the fast pace of everyday life. Now, we may burn incense, we might light candles, perhaps we even enjoy sacred music. We enter into the bonding between Spirit and ourselves in this beautiful environment. And in the stillness, we commune with Spirit. We come into the fullness of our spiritual beingness and open to the joy that always exists within us when we take that time to find it and reconnect it. Just like the Japanese tea ceremony, this definitely creates enjoyment for us. Dr. Holmes suggests the greatest good we can conceive should be affirmed as a part of our everyday experience. From such daily meditation, we venture forth into a life of action with the will to do, the determination to be, and the joy in becoming. Our spiritual principle that Sharon just read earlier spoke to the joy of our becoming aware of the heaven within that is our true nature. And we experience that true nature to the degree we become conscious of it. Now, we can only become conscious of it as we expand our awareness of our spiritual qualities and the reality that we are spiritual beings having spiritual experiences every day of our lives. As Joan Chittister said in Search for Belief, heaven is the achievement of the peak of being. It is total immersion in the mystery. It is the real moment of becoming. It is full consciousness of life within us. Heaven is becoming what we are and have always been and are meant to be in full. This year, we have come nearer to the awareness of that which is already there. Spirit is already always in, around, and through us, waiting to be noticed and forever revealing itself further to us. And when we steep ourselves in our spiritual principles and practices, well, spiritual qualities of life, love, peace, power, beauty, and joy, our spirituality becomes the way we walk through everyday life. It's not something we hang up in the coat closet, take out every time we leave the building. It becomes who and what we are. Reverend Petra Weldis noted this in the Science of Mind magazine last month. She said, spirituality isn't just contemplating the qualities of the divine and trying to stay in blissful being. It is also consciously creating and living in alignment with these qualities, manifesting them in human experience. This is, in fact, the purpose of the creative process, to move the potential of being into actualization of becoming. You know, there's such great joy in becoming aware of the spirit that is within us, that is all around us and is in all creation. There's a Native American proverb that says, spirit is being by becoming manifest in us. Let spirit be spirit in you. Or as Lao Tzu said, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. The life and expression of spirit is here and now as this moment, and as each of us experiencing this moment right now. Spirit pours itself through all creation, using itself as both the putty and the sculpture. This moment is God. This moment is God, as is the next, and the next, and the next. Your being, our being in the moment, is a necessary part of the unfolding of the divine. So take a moment to really drink it up and marinate in the all-pervasiveness of God's Spirit love right here, right now. And I invite each of us just for a moment to just close your eyes and soak up, marinate in that God's Spirit love right here, right now. I do so enjoy that feeling of oneness with Spirit, with all of you. It's so precious. You might wonder what the joy of becoming really feels like. It's the sensation of absolute freedom, harmony, love, and unity flowing through you. I share this thought from Reverend Scott Aubrey as an example. He says, imagine you are the conductor of a symphony orchestra. You're standing on the podium, perfectly in sync with the score, the orchestra members, and the audience. You raise the baton. Instruments come up. Perfect stillness. You move, and the entire orchestra responds as one. Then it happens. You are no longer the conductor, a member of the orchestra, or the audience. You are the music. Now, that may mean more to folks who are musically inclined. Yet if you are creating art and you are with the medium and the canvas, you become that art as you lose time and you are immersed in that. If you're riding a horse and become one with the wind as you race across wide open spaces, you become one with the wind. If you're watching a sunrise or a sunset and become completely mesmerized by the colors, the texture of the air on your skin, the transformation of it all before you, you become that experience. You are feeling the joy of becoming then. It is a never-ending process, this becoming thing. It is a gift from Spirit that we may fully enjoy life every moment, every day, as we steep ourselves in the joy of becoming. Let's soak ourselves in the infinite love of Spirit as we continue through the holidays. Let's be imbued with the love of Spirit and radiate it wherever we go. And give that love that is always there to guide and sustain us. During this week, I invite us all to make some spirit tea. Spend a little sacred time steeping in your spiritual qualities, and perhaps take a page from Haven Trevino's book, The Tao of Healing. Haven writes, "Quiet the mind, be still, and watch the breath of Spirit rise and fall in all things. Allow Spirit's breath to be your breath. Allow Spirit's nature to be your nature. That is the true joy of becoming." So it is. So now I'd just like to do a little prayer, put a little cap on that message. Right now, in the joy of becoming, that oneness, that unity with that Spirit, that divine essence of love that exists in and through all creation, from which all creation has been formed and emanated from. I speak a word. I speak a word of that true nature of Spirit, that essence of the divine that is only love, that is only joy, that is only beauty. And as I speak this word, I bring to mind a special blessing for those who have been affected by the weather throughout the states in the Midwest and through Tennessee. I bring a special blessing to all of those who have been affected by that. I know that they are fully supported and abundantly prospered as they move through this time, and that the people who come together to support them and bring their lives back into some sort of action that resembles something that they can live through right now. I bless each and every one of them. I bless those who have moved on in their transition, for I know that everything in the mind of God is perfect, and these beings live on. And so at this time, I speak a special word also for this family that we support through the holidays. I know that this mother and her 3 children, they are becoming, right now, filled with the joy of the holiday through the abundance and the sharing here in this center. And I speak a word knowing that they are fully supported and abundantly prospered, and that the love of Spirit is right there with them, guiding them also. For I know that wherever any being is, wherever all creation is, Spirit is always fully present right there. Just as it is right here, just as it is with those folks who are in Techno World in our virtual service. I know that only good can come from good. And I know that love always prevails. And so it is with a heart full of gratitude, great, great gratitude for the joy of knowing that whatever happens to be right now is always changing and becoming that which is even greater in every life. And knowing that this is so, I simply release this word directly into the law that always, always says, yes, my beloveds, yes. And together we may affirm it by saying, and so it is. And now we have a little extra music from our folks. Here we go. You can sing along to this if you want to, you know. They like it when you sing. Ready?
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la, la 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 la. 'Tis a season to be jolly, la 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 la, la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, la 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 la, la 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 la. See the blazing Yule before us, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. Strike the harp and join the chorus, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. Follow me in merry measure, fa la 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 la. While I tell of Yuletide treasure, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. Fast away the old year passes, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. For the year lads and lasses, fa la 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 la, la la la. Sing we joyous all together, fa la 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 la. Heedless of the wind and weather, fa la 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 la.
All right. And for you, it's all right. It's good. Oh my goodness, we have so many people here today, it took me all that time to get around here. How wonderful that is. And now it's time for our prosperity celebration. This is when we share our gifts with the center, with each other, time, talent, and treasure, and I'm so very grateful. So if you'd like to take your gift, place it close to your heart. Wait a minute, I've got one here somewhere. There we go. Place it close to your heart and just affirm with me, I become more and more aware of the prosperity in my life, and I share it freely with great joy. Let's do that one more time with feeling. Oh, here we go. I become more and more aware of the prosperity in my life, and I share it freely with great joy. And so it is. So, whoever is doing this part, if you all would like to do this part. Okay. So I know that as these gifts are being collected, and they come through the pure love of Spirit that flows in and through every being here, and those who are not here, because we receive many gifts from those who are not here on Sunday. I know that these gifts create and support the vision that we have for this center, that we are a place where God shows up. We are a place that is a beacon of light for all humanity, wherever they may be. And I know that these gifts do good work in our center, and they do good work in our community, and they do good work in our world. And we are so incredibly blessed by each and every one of them. Treasure, time, and talent that's given so generously here. Thank you, Maria. And so I just bless these gifts. I bless these gifts, and I am so incredibly grateful for the generosity of Spirit and the divine flow of abundance that flows through each and every being, wherever they may be, and those here, and into this center and through. And so, with great gratitude, I bless this and give great thanks, and so it is. All righty. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. So now it's time for our peace song. And as we do, we kind of get up and we get around in a circle. And if you want to be in the circle, it's cool. If you want to hold hands, whatever makes you comfortable in being where you are and being part of this. I'm right behind you. I got to see where I'm going to go. That was beautiful. So beautiful. And now we have a little time for our benediction here, and you know how this goes. If you haven't been here before, you get the opportunity to repeat after me if you are so moved, and you will be moved, I guarantee you. Yes, indeed. I have to take my glasses off for this because sometimes when I twirl around, I don't know where I am. So, ready? Something wonderful is happening through me right now. Oh, it is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Oh, it's in the body of my affairs. I think it. I feel it. I know it. And I love it. Oh, just the way that it is. And just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Have a wonderful week, everybody, and we'll see you next time.